So the next recipe is ragi and oats baked nachos. Now as we all know that ragi or the finger millet flour is very rich source of calcium and fiber. So let's see how we can make this. Now for making these ragi nachos, we need to take ragi flour, which is 1/4 cup. So into this I'm going to add oats flour, which is 2 tablespoons that I have taken. Then I have added 2 tablespoons of wheat flour, which is whole wheat flour. Next is I'm adding the garlic powder. So this is half teaspoon of garlic powder. This has to be added. Into this I'm adding salt according to taste. Now before adding the oil, we need to mix all these dry ingredients well. So with the help of a spoon or a spatula, we need to mix them really well. So guys, this is basically the garlic flavor nachos. If you want, you can also add other flavors like black pepper, or even you can add herbs like rosemary, thyme, oregano. So that can also be added. So you need to mix it really well before adding oil and water. All the dry ingredients should get mixed up well. After this, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of olive oil. So this much is sufficient for making these nachos soft and crispy. In case you want to add a little more, you can add even 1 teaspoon of oil. So this is cold pressed olive oil that I have used. You can even use sesame oil for this. Now after adding the oil, we again have to mix it well like this. So after mixing it well, it's now the time to add water gradually. So I'm adding the normal water. You can also use the lukewarm water, but even normal water would do. So keep on adding the water gradually because the dough need not be very sticky. So let the dough absorb the water, and then you can add more water if required. So the dough should not fall apart. It should neither be crumbly, but at the same time, it should not be very wetty or sticky. So you need to be careful while adding the water. So knead it well so that all the ingredients come together and you are able to get a smooth dough like this. Keep on kneading and mixing it well. Keep kneading the dough so that it becomes smooth and soft. Like this, you need to punch it, you need to just press it with pressure, and now I'm using just few drops of water in order to give the final touch to the dough. So you can see that it is coming together well, and it's not very sticky, neither too hard. So this is how you need to make the dough. And now finally you need to just keep it in the bowl and cover it and let it rest for around 15-20 minutes. So after 15-20 minutes, we need to knead it again. Though the flours have already absorbed the moisture well after 15-20 minutes, but again mixing it well will give us a smooth and softer dough. Now I have taken this rolling pad, and on this rolling pad we need to roll out this dough into a large chapati. So as we have already added wheat flour, so wheat flour, as we all know, contains gluten. So rolling out this dough into chapati will not be a problem. So you can easily roll out this dough into a large chapati. Thickness is something that you can decide on your own, because the thickness of nachos that you want would decide the thickness of this chapati. So you can just carefully lift it and roll it like this. So it should be even and smooth. After rolling it, prick it with a fork like this. So this is required so that the nachos become crispy. So you need to prick it evenly all over. Like this. Now before I start cutting it, let me just go and preheat my oven. So I have put my oven on a preheat mode at 180 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. Now let's cut it into the desired shape. So I'm using a sharp knife. So first of all, I'm trying to create these ribbons. If you want, you can even use it in the form of these ribbons only. So just bake these. But if you want to make them smaller, you can try to cut out these squares. So just turn around your rolling pad. So you need to just do it carefully. Now I'm using my knife again for creating these squares. So the thickness and the shape is something which you can always decide on your own. You may even create big triangles, because normally nachos are in the triangular shape. So that is totally up to you. Now just try to scratch it from the rolling pad carefully, lifting each one of them. So they are very soft, and that is why you need to lift them carefully so that they do not crumble or break. Now what we can do is we can arrange them simultaneously on the baking sheet, which has been lined up on our baking tray like this. Now you need to just put each one of them on the baking tray with some distance. Like this. Just take it out from the rolling pad and simultaneously arrange them on the baking sheet like this. Try to separate each one of them. So like this you can arrange them on the baking sheet. And then these have to be baked at 180 degrees only for 25 to 30 minutes. So what you can do is after 20 minutes you can just go and check them in your oven. So as I've already shared that the baking time might vary depending upon the size of your oven, the quantity, and also how new or old your oven is. Now these have been arranged well on the baking tray. So let me just go and pop them into the oven. This is how they will look like after being baked for 15 minutes. Now what we can do is we can just flip them one by one. It's still hot, but I am trying to flip them, each one of them, and then again we'll bake them for 5 to 7 minutes. So this is basically required to ensure that they have become really crisp. So guys, our crispy, crunchy ragi nachos are ready to be served.